So, greetings to you. Greetings. And to today's edition of Uncensored Guyana. I am Dr. Love Prasad, and it's good to be here with you so that we can all enjoy our time this afternoon. Again, I had to switch software because the previous one that you were waiting on, that encountered some problems again. Anyway, but I want to thank you for your patience, your time, and the fact that you continue to see the benefit in being a part of what I do here on a daily basis. Yes, thank you. You're supposed to hear me loud and clear. So right now you need to be turning your volume down because I want you to hear me loud and clear, especially from this time. You must be able to do that because a lot is at stake. I have some announcement to make, not really pleasant announcement, but announcement nonetheless. There are some things that I want to talk about, and every time I make the attempt to associate the videos with what I'm doing, there seem to be problems. Unfortunately, when it comes to this kind of work, I'm talking about when it comes to operating this system, dealing with the system, dealing with the software, the technical aspect, and so on. I'm a novice. I'm an amateur. I'm ignorant. I'm not a computer engineer. I'm not a computer scientist. And yes, these things are complex. So for those persons who are into the streaming and the broadcast via the social media, and they are using certain software, open source software, it's free. They understand the technicalities involved. And if you do not have a skilled technician there to monitor, there to advise, there to work with you, then you would have issues like I am. Because I'm not a specialist. I do not pride myself to being that. And I have said in many occasions that I'm Indian. And for those of you who know Indian people, they try to save as much as they can. They're not cheap. They're just economic. Try to save every way they can. If an Indian can't do it himself, he's going to try to learn it. Look at tutorials, read a book, read something, get some knowledge as to how this thing works. And if he tried all of that and it doesn't help, then he's going to hire a specialist. I just happen to fall in that category. I'm not a cheapskate. I just want to see as much as I can, learn myself and try myself. And then, yeah, okay, fine. I got to hire a specialist and have somebody on standby. You got to pay them for that. Nothing is free. And since I don't have sponsors, since, yes, PNC people, the PPP, they are not paying me. They are not sponsoring me. This is why I can't hire a technician. You think if they were sponsoring me, wouldn't I have the best team around me? Of course. Anyway, I'm here to talk about important issues. I'll leave all the technical stuff about this and that and roads and buildings and bridges and whatever. I would leave that to the engineers that works for the government to deal with the specs and deal with the details and semantics when it comes to that area of politics. My role will continue to be enforcing, applying, and approaching the security concerns of the Guyanese people, the people who have continued, who continues to suffer throughout the history of Guyana. I will continue to hammer home so that those people don't take it for granted. Don't take their current status for granted. I'll continue to hammer that home because elections are coming up. And what we as human beings tend to do a lot is we live in the present, which is okay. Which is okay. We live in the present. But while we live in the present, we must never forget the struggle was real in the past. And if we take a lot for granted, the struggle can be real in the present as well. We have to take cognizance of that and don't fuck it up. Don't. 5 years in 5 days, in 5 weeks, or 5 months. 5 years is 5 years. So if you take your situation for granted now and you follow these idiots on social media, you follow all these people that are being sponsored. I'm the only one of the major voices in this political stream now that is not being sponsored. All the others are receiving funding. Every one of them receives funding. And the ones that are against the government, the ones that are working to undermine and that has worked from the beginning, that has been spewing, encouraging, transporting the criminals and the thugs that unleashed their demonic activities in 2020 for that period of time when Granger and the PNC held on illegally to power, did not want to have the government transitioned to the PPP and President Ali. Those people who were backing the corrupt Granger regime and who made it their personal agenda to go out and attack the Indo Guyanese, damage public infrastructure, block roads, threaten the livelihood and the life of individuals. Those people are the ones who now are sitting around revisiting their strategies that they often used in their playbook in case stuff happens. And what is the in case? What is the in case? In case PNC loses. In case PNC loses. There is no such thing as the inevitable. There's no such thing as in case PNC loses. PNC will lose. There's no in case. PNC is going to lose to Azzrudin Mohamed. Yes, he is going to replace them. He has already replaced them. Because the Afro Guyanese, who largely supported the corrupt PNC regime, supported the murderous agenda, the racist policy, the demonic teachings of the PNC Congress camp, those people have already left the PNC. They are walking around like fowls without head. When you cut off the head of a fowl, it runs on its two legs, circling until it falls down. That is how the PNC camp and the members are today. They are clueless. They don't know where to go. Their pride prevents them from going humbly to the PPP. Now, a lot of them are going. But guess what? They are not going voluntarily. They're going because they're being promised something. And this is what they tell their friends. Well, they promised me position. They promised me this. They promised me that. They're going because they have a personal, selfish motivation. That's why they're going. But in their hearts, they always wanted to join the PPP. They always wanted to join the PPP in their hearts. But because of their ego and their racism, they need a reason to do it. So they blamed the reason. It's like this. A lot of the men in the PNC camp, a lot of the men who are online pushing propaganda, spreading false news, spreading fake news to make the Ali government looks bad and make the Indian population of Guyana looks racial or racist, those men are secret homosexuals. Secret homosexuals. But guess what? They are looking for a reason to step out their gayism. A reason. Then they're going to say, well, you know, you have to survive, and if you got to give it up, to get it up. Reason. Typical Negro. It's never voluntarily unselfish, praiseworthy motivation. You always got to bribe them somehow. This is why the core of the PPP have issues trusting the people who left the AFC, left the PNC to go over to the PPP. They have issues trusting them. I mean, you know that the PNC is a bad camp. You know that. Yet you joined them because you had access to money, position, and you exploited the resources of the Guyanese people in 5 years, 2015, 2020. But their ego and their greed and selfishness did not allow them to leave after the PNC lost in 2015. They stuck around, pretend as though they support the PNC, pretend as though they're against the government, but within their hearts, they always wanted to be in the PPP. They waited until elections are close, and Aubrey Norton, as terrible as he is, gave them a reason to leave the party. And they left. That was their reason. But before that, they always wanted to leave the PNC because these people are soup drinkers. They're soup drinkers. You can't trust them. Can't trust them. Welcome to Dr. Love Prasad Uncensored. This is Uncensored Guyana. Let's go to the chat and greet a few of the nice people. Then I come back and I continue with what I have to deal with today. Today I want to talk about Azzrudin Mohamed. I want to talk a bit about Bar Jagdeo. I want to talk about this lady, Simona Bruns. I want to talk about her. Aubrey Norton. The usual culprits. I want to address them today. The usual culprits. Okay? So good afternoon to Kristen that Mangar. Okay, let's go back up. Sheridat Rabindranath, Devi, Shilini Bourne, Anita Sitaram, Mike Carpen, Savitri Rose. Yes, Savitri. Yesterday was my anniversary, the anniversary of my birth. Thank you. Amina Yankaya, Tara Badulal, Drupati. I won't call your name twice. You know that. Patricia, Alfonso, Alima, Suzanne, Aruni, DA. Yeah. Greetings to all of you. And to all the other persons who will join eventually, greetings to you as well. Let's talk about, we haven't quite explored in depth a lot of the things that the uncle of Azzrudin Mohamed would have said. We haven't quite explored that in depth. While you may have looked at the video, listened to the man over and over, the question is, he is, you see, what Christians would understand is that the Bible said, not doctrines, the Bible said that you should not subscribe to evil and you should call a sin by its name. You should not cover your brother's sin. Don't put your neck on the line to cover somebody else's wrongdoing. And a lot of us do that. A lot of us do that, especially if you are a police officer and your relative commits crime. The relative may come to you and beg for your help and try to persuade you to hide the crime or to turn your back. But you have an obligation to your badge. You have an obligation to the oath you took to protect and serve the law, protect the citizens, even if the person that you are pursuing is a relative, a family member. You have to arrest them. That's when you are a good police officer. But more often than not, we know they don't do that. They look at you as, and this is something that a lot of the black police officers, this is something that a lot of them entertain. Our brothers suffered so much under the white man, and they're being abused in America. The police are harassing them. They're facing all of these problems and all these things. We cannot add to that. If we can turn the blind eye, help a brother out, after all, he doesn't have a job. He made a mistake. He followed bad company. He's caught in a crime. Let's just give him a warning and turn our backs, because after all, he's one of us. So a lot of Afro-Guyanese police officers continues to compromise, risk the sanctity of their service, of their oath, by turning a blind eye against the criminals who look like them, who may be from their family group, from their neighborhoods, because of that sentiment, because of that soft spot they have for somebody who looks like them. It's never honorable towards the oath they take. A criminal is a criminal regardless of how they look. Regardless of bloodline, family ties, a police officer has to be neutral at all times. But that never happens. All of what's happening in Guyana, that criminals are getting away, they're committing crimes, they're hiding amongst their brothers. It is because black people cover black crime. They hide it. They conceal it. They don't snitch. even if they see the damage and destruction that family member has caused the other person, even if it's black on black violence. They don't snitch on the person if he's a relative or a familiar or somebody they know. They rather pretend and watch that family of the victim suffer and agonize, and they live with that. But the other ethnic groups don't do that. An Indo Guyanese man will snitch within seconds on another Indo Guyanese if he commits a crime. He will call the cops on him. I'm not tolerating that. To the Indian man, I am not tolerating that. You're not supposed to commit crime. You're not supposed to break the law. Don't come and hide here and endanger my group and make my area looks bad. No, you gotta go. Indians are protective of identity. They are protective of sanctity. They are protective of culture. And they will not allow anybody, regardless, to create distrust. But the black people are not the same. You can be a serial killer. You can find protection in the ghetto. And that shit is not right. This is why it's hard to trust black officers when it comes to executing their duties regarding crime and criminals. If the criminal is somebody else that doesn't look black, they'll get him fast. Why do you think they catch Indo Guyanese criminals so quick? And other races so quick, but they can't catch the black ones. The black ones are allowed to get away with it, to commit more crime, and more crime. Now we have the PNC. A lot of this occurred under the PNC governments. A lot of it. I've said before, how many people from the Burnham period who are still alive today faced judgment for the crimes that they committed? How many? Did they ever set up a commission of inquiry into the deaths at the massacre? Did they interview the relatives of these people? They would have had pictures. They would have had notes. They would have had all these documentation, information, all these players. They have access to those people. Why wasn't a commission of inquiry established to investigate the crimes that were committed against the Indo Guyanese community during the Burnham regime? Why not? Because of selfish politicians, selfish, blood-hungry politicians from both sides, PPP and the PNC, who did not want to disturb the waters because they need the votes, even from the criminals who murdered their ancestors. They need their votes. So if they create this inquiry and launch this investigation, and a bunch of people start to be arrested, you don't know where it stops. It might go in places that you will least expect. They don't want the trouble there. They don't want to bring justice to the families of the deceased who are still alive today, because they're looking at their votes. Votes is translated into money. Money can increase your level of affluence in Guyana. If ever I have the opportunity to get into government, I don't plan on it, but if ever I have the opportunity to get into government, especially in the Home Affairs Ministry. I will set up a commission of inquiry. If I have to bring the FBI, you Guyanese love the FBI so much, I'm going to bring them. I would bring the necessary tools that is needed and personnel to deal with that commission of inquiry into the massacre. And I would hold all the people accountable. Every single one of them, whether they are dead or alive, they will be tried in absentia. Even if they're dead and gone, you still try them. So that stain goes on their names. Their relatives have to live with that stigma. I will do it. Who would stop me? Who? The opposition would say, it's a long time, let sleeping dogs lie. No, it's not a long time. It's recently. A long time would be in slavery. A long time would be the time that you are still fighting for reparations. That's a long time. The fact that slavery ended how many hundreds of years ago, and you are still, the Afro-Guyanese organizations are still pushing for reparations for people that they can't even trace their genealogy, but they're fighting for reparation. They want the British, the Dutch, these colonial families to pay them who are alive today reparations for stuff that happened 300 years ago, 400 years ago. And you want the Indo Guyanese to forget something that happened in the 60s, 1960s, almost the 70s. A lot of people are alive. My mom was a teenager around that time. My mom is still young and healthy and bouncing today. So that is recently. You want them to forget that. But you don't want to forget reparations about 300 years ago. No, don't forget that. You celebrate slavery, abolish every year. You have this event, African and all this stuff. But the massacre and the martyrdom of the Indians who suffered under your leader, Barnum, Forrest Barnum, in this century, there is no special day to commemorate the death of those people. There is no commission ever set up that investigated to bring closure. None. If there were, educate me. I beg to learn. And you want that to be forgotten? I will personally make sure that a commission is set up to bring closure and justice to all the families who suffered. And the government must repair the damage by paying reparations to the families of the persons who were affected during the Barnum rampage. They deserve reparations, not some fucking African slaves 300 years ago. The people who in the generation of civilization who were murdered, massacred by an independent country's leader, not a white man, not a colonialist, a president who was duly elected according to the historical facts of the PNC. He brainstormed that stuff that happened to the Indo Guyanese. And every time there is an election season, every time, from the Barnum time to now, every time there is an election season, Indian people are the ones who are often targeted. You would think they're from some Middle Eastern country that nobody likes. You think they're Muslim terrorists. you wouldn't know that these people, the Indo Guyanese, are the foundation. You wouldn't think that the Indo Guyanese are the foundation of Guyana's democracy. The way the Africans, the PNC and these others, target the Indians around election time, you would think that the Indians are the migrants. You know, the refugees that came from someplace and are taking the jobs. They are burdening the state. They are creating public mistrust and mayhem. They are putting a heavy tax on the system. That's what you will think. So the law-abiding citizens of Guyana are affected by this massive influx of Indo Guyanese. So elections time, this is a sensitive topic that politicians exploit. That is how you would see this. But you wouldn't believe that the Indo Guyanese community in Guyana, it's the opposite. They're the ones who have to be careful. They're the ones who have to look out and watch their backs. They're the ones who built the country, even while they were persecuted. The Indo Guyanese built Guyana. The agricultural sector was stimulated by the Indo Guyanese. The industrial revolution of Guyana, it happened as a result of Indo Guyanese. Everything Guyana has become post-independence, even before independence, while the colonialists had Guyana, the people who were shoring up economically the Guyanese economy, the people who were the heavier investors in Guyana, even while the British had Guyana, were the Indo Guyanese. There was never a time in the history of modern Guyana, not slavery, not now. There was never a time in Guyana where the blacks made a difference economically. Never. But yet, they're the ones with the loudest voice, always talking about how they are affected. You have never added anything to the growth and development of Guyana. You had 28 fucking years to do it with a government that was pro-black, anti-white, anti-Chinese, anti-Indian. The PNC government hated everybody else. But yet, they never stimulated the black people of Guyana to do anything for themselves. Most of the housing in those areas where they have government houses, most of the housing was given to the black people by the PNC government, who secured funding from foreign investors, built houses and gave to the black people. How many were paid off? How many were written off? It was handed to the blacks in Guyana. Land, housing, opportunity, handed to them. While everybody else, everybody else had to fight for it, had to bribe their way to get it, had to sleep their way to get it. The blacks got it in their fucking hands. And what did they do? What a lot of them do? They pawned it. They borrowed money from the Indians who nobody helped. They sold it to the Indians who nobody helped. or they lost it in gambling. Then they left the country. Then they had to turn back and rent from the very Indians they sold their lands and houses to. And they were happy with that. Happy paying rent. What are you pissed about? Because I'm speaking the truth? What are you upset about? What's making you mad? You want these things to sleep and stay asleep? Why? Who the fuck are you that I can't talk about this because you're upset? Who? Who are you? You think I'm here to make you feel good? I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm not here to appease any Negro. You think I give a shit about you people? I don't. And I'm saying it like it is. Because if you think that you're going to boycott, as some of you say, you're going to boycott the elections because of me, then you are giving me a lot of powers. You are giving me a lot of powers. Yeah. You're giving me the confidence that I should get involved politically, because if I am making you so pissed that you don't want to partake in the elections, I need to make a lot of more of you pissed. Yes. Thank you for telling me that. All that message you're sending me, you think that's going to scare me? You think I'm scared? Do I look scared to you? Because you're making threats, you're sending me all these ugly notes and voice notes and whatever. You're putting stuff, you're commenting and you thing and you all kinds of accusations. You think that would scare me? Before I move on to my other issues, let me deal with something. And I want to deal with it. I want to. So I'll deal with it. So you know, there are some people on Facebook, TikTok, who are hiding under some fake names, fake profiles. The internet isn't concerned about how fake you are. They just want you to have an account, and that's good for them. They can sell that. They can, you know. But when you say certain things that I know that the only way you can know that is if a relative tells you, and a relative will not know anybody to tell them unless that relative themselves pretend to be somebody else and try to use that to make some kind of announcement on my page. Now, when I say a relative, I'm talking about somebody who might be related to my mother that I may not know exist. I don't know any of them. They know of me, but I don't know them. So when they come pretending that they want to attack me and I would not suspect who they are, I have my sources too, you know. And my sources too tells me who the fuck you are. And basically speaking, these people that you find coming online and saying stuff, they're related to my mother. Either her niece's children or some shit like that. But they're that side. The toxic side, the low-life ghetto slums, that side. I don't know them. Okay, my family has a different experience. We don't know these people, but they always claim to know me, rightly so, and they talk about stuff. I mean, I've said on my platform for years, I have said that I have kids that I don't take care of. You heard that from me. I said it. Now, which man anywhere I mean, most Indian men, unless they left their wives or their wives got rid of them, but a lot of men took for granted something and they had sex outside, and the next thing you hear, some girl says she's pregnant for them, and hey, it's not my child, but the child came, and you realize, oh shit, it looks like me. Most men would be subjected to that. There are a lot of men who also have several exes. I mean, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, he has what, like 14 kids with 14 different women. Some of them he don't even take care of, and he's the fucking richest man in the world. Donald Trump, Bill Clinton. So these low-life relatives who claims that they're or pretend to be somebody else, you want to post that shit on my wall? You think you'll make me look bad because you're going to make some comment that I have kids I don't take care of? Everybody has kids I don't fucking take care of. Everybody does. Your father, a lot of you, why the hell your mother has 10 kids with 10 different men and you don't even know who the fuck your father is? Isn't it the same thing? So why are you pointing a finger at me? Because what? Because I don't talk for the niggas. I don't talk for the black people. I don't talk for PNC. You think that you saying that is going to somehow make me stand with the PNC? I mean, I have to say this because I want them to understand that I know who they are. I know who you are. So when you post stuff and you think that I don't know, I know who you are. Most of you are relatives of my mother. That's how low you are. That's how stupid you are. You want to persecute somebody that you know is a close relative, but I don't know you. Imagine if the PPP government says, you know, Dr. Warner, we want to appoint you as a minister. And I happen to be sworn in as a minister of the government. A lot of you low-life hustlers, you ungrateful Negroes, would come to my office and tell my secretary, can you tell the minister that cousin X is here? And I never met you. But you come sliming. Can you tell minister his cousin is here? The fact that you say cousin, I might want to know who this cousin is. That's okay, let the person come. You don't know me, but I'm your cousin. I'm your mother's aunt or mother's sister. This, I'm this. Yeah. Yes. Did I jog your fantasy now? That's how stupid you are. If you think you can hide under something to attack me on social media, on my platform, and hide, and then sometime in the future you surface to come to look for arms and say that you are my cousin, I have your information. I have all your information. I know exactly who you are, whose daughter and son and grandson. I know exactly who you are. It's in this book. Okay? And I'm keeping it. Because when the time comes, I want to remind you, I'm not your relative. So when you try to make these false claims and think you're going to make me look bad, think with your future. You understand? Think with your future. I could be president too. You never know. You never know. So fuck up your own future trying to attack me. Go on, continue. Now, the issue, again, with the Commission of Inquiry about the atrocities that were committed against the Indo Guyanese. I want the Indo Guyanese community to understand this. If you think what happened to your parents, And some of you are still here. What happened to you? And the stories you hear from your grandparents, if you think that time is over, have you ever heard of deja vu? You know, history repeating itself? Yes. History almost repeated itself with the issue of the double-day hotel. History almost repeated itself 2020. You understand? Almost. And if you don't stop this nonsense about you have some animosity, some bitterness with President Ali because President Ali and the PPP don't come to your fucking neighborhood and clean your gutter like them Negroes, and you want to join azzrudin Mohamed and the PNC camp to say you're voting for them, then history might repeat itself for you. And that's a threat. History might repeat itself for you. Because if those people, Azzrudin Mohamed, them niggas will protect him. He is one Indian, they wouldn't hurt. But the rest of you that they know have been loud in promoting and protecting and the PPP, but you have not gone out and support the PPP, the rest of you, they're coming after. And they're coming after you with vengeance. All that anger from 2020, all that anger from a few months ago that they could not unleash, they're going to unleash it. So you screw up and you stay home and you go vote for the PNC or go vote for Mohamed. Go get it done. Go do it. And you think those Negroes are gonna help you? You think Aubrey Norton knows your name? What you're gonna do? Take a picture when you vote and hold it there as an ID. So when them niggas, when those Negroes come to get to you, you're like, hey, I voted for Aubrey. Hey, I voted for Aubrey. I vote for the PNC. I vote for Mohamed. That would be your defense. You think that will matter? They want to do an ethnic cleansing once and for all in Guyana. Ethnic cleansing. Run all the PPP people the fuck out of Guyana. Yeah, I'm not saying killing, because the next thing you know, the ERCs come knocking, Dr. Warner, can we have a meeting with you? I'm saying ethnic cleansing, where they make it so unlivable for the average Indo Guyanese that they have to do what they did in the 60s. Get the fuck out of the country. So if you think you know what you're doing. Yeah, I know that a lot of you who are cussing me, I know it's not you. I know it's these Negroes having Indian profile names to make it look like it's PPP people that are attacking me. I know it's not you. I know. I get it. Don't worry. I have my team. I know how to do research. I know it's not you. But I also hear a lot of you on your own platform talking, yappy, you're talking, and you're trying to badmouth the PPP as if this is something personal. And my position here is, why did you vote against the PNC in 2020? You had 5 years to experience Granger and the PNC. 5 years. You knew what the hell they were. They had housing projects that they built. How many Indians got houses? The PNC only takes care of their own, which is a few. How many of you got houses? All them government contracts that were given out during the PNC time. Who did you think got those contracts? Now, Simona Brooms is one of them who are talking about the Ali regime and giving out contracts to their friends and their family. And what did Granger do? Simona Brooms, Amanza Nazir, these people who have formed political parties, you were ministers in the APNU government. You were ministers in APNU government. Why did you leave to start your own party? Why? You people are zombie hypocrites. You're beyond human. You are talking about corruption in the PPP. But yet, from the time the PNC lost the election, you stepped out and start your own party. Why? Why? Why didn't you quit while they were in government? You waited until all the milk is dried up, and then you saw that, hey, these people don't have a chance to get back into government at any time. So you contemplated, if you start a party, you can pull some of the PNC votes and you can be in a position of bargaining. So whichever government comes, if they need some extra seat to form a government, you're like, hey, Simona Brooms, I'm here, but I need a ministry. I need this. I need that. Fucking greed. Greed. And you're talking about corruption. Greed. If you love the blacks so much as you claim, then why couldn't you stay with the PNC and unseat Aubrey Norton, or try to campaign within the PNC camp and tell them, don't vote for Norton? Why couldn't you do that? Instead, you do what black people do. Break. Break. You don't build anything, you break it. And you and this the Zare woman and all the others, piece by piece, you're dismantling the PNC, dismantling. And all you claiming that you love black people. Then why couldn't you stay together as a black party and do what you need to do to fix it? You couldn't, because you're selfish, you're greedy. So you want it all. Because you can't be the chairman of the PNC, you say, fuck it, I'm out. The other one couldn't be the chairman too, fuck it, I'm out. All of you want to be the boss. So because you could not be the boss and you don't want to be governed because you think you have arrived and you're smart ass, you step away, you break a piece of the PNC. And by breaking a piece, you took the followers within the PNC that had sympathy for you. And you're talking about racism and corruption in the PPP when you came from the world of corruption and destruction and racism. That's why you couldn't stay, Simona Brooms. That's why you couldn't stay. Because you don't have the consistency and the decency, because the PNC reminds you of who you are, corrupt. Then going around pretending that you care about these Negroes, pretending because it's elections time. It is so disturbing when I hear you people talk about, oh, the PPP is so corrupt. They're taking the oil money and the friends and family and and the people of Guyana are not benefiting. You were there for 5 years. Guyana always had potential of income. It's not about oil. How the hell Guyana survived till 2018 when oil money started to come? How did Guyana survive? How did all those projects happen? All those housing projects? How did Guyanese become millionaires and billionaires long before the oil? Throughout Guyana, development, continued development, long before oil. So don't blame this on, well, we have oil now. No, Guyana is always developing. The development stopped during 2015, 2020, because the Granger government, with you inside of it, decided to take the money, budget it towards infrastructure, towards social programs for the people, and you decided you had better uses for it. You knew how to spend it on yourself instead of giving it away to these poor people. The PPP like to feed poor people. The PNC takes from poor people. Now you're getting involved. You all are hypocrites. This is why I said, you people don't understand that the black people know your tricks. They know the game you're playing. But they are so egotistical and their pride, they don't want to come out and just say, you know what, we're done with the PNC. We're done with Brooms. We're done with the Desire woman. We're done with Mohamed guy. We're done with them because they're fake. They're fake. They're low lives. They're hustlers. They're pimps. We're done with them. We're just going to support Ali. They're not saying that publicly because they don't want to offend their relatives, their friends. That black man still want that black pussy. That black woman still want that black sugar daddy. So she's not going to say things that might compromise the chances of getting the pussy and the money. But on elections day, they're going with intention to vote on Ali. The people who will vote for the PNC are the ones who are directly benefiting from the PNC. The rest of them are going to Ali, azzrudin guy, because now the PNC don't have money to bribe them. Azzrudin has money to bribe them. But they are not smart enough to understand that he's bribing them with the taxpayers' money. They think that that's an indication of things to come. Because if he's giving them now 2,000 and 3,000 Guyana dollars, it's just a preview of what more will come. Was it 750,000? That's what they think. So they are dumb enough to vote for Azzrudin, even though there is no chance. There is no chance. Look, I have a better chance. I have a better chance, a 70% chance of having a one-night stand with that woman that was thugging, gangstering in that road. Was it his sister, Azzrudin's sister? Yeah. I have a 70% chance for a one-night stand with Azzrudin's sister than Azzrudin has to be a member of the parliament. If he should, those two challenges, I can get her faster than he can get in the parliament via elections. That's how confident I am. Does he look confident when he's going around in the ghettos? Or he has this masculine, lesbian-like, strong, frog-like, thuggish, gangster, ugly-looking, fat black woman protecting him? What's her name? What's her name? Yeah, he has to walk around with these people. And you think he has a chance of getting into parliament? No, I have a better chance with his sister than he has in the parliament. And I'm not a millionaire. I'm not a millionaire. So if you're going to waste your time thinking that sliming to Azzrudin Mohamed would get you that 750,000 Ghana dollars or whatever amount he's promising, you better bet on me with his sister. Bet on me. You might get a beer. Yeah. Or I might give you the condom when I'm done. Say, hey, evidence. You got a better chance where that's concerned. In no way. In no way. And speaking of chances with the PNC or Aubrey Norton, you all saw the so-called rally they had at the Square of the Revolution. You saw that. What was the theme song? You see, while President Ali is supporting gospel shows and inspiring gospel shows to bring the country together, the PNC, the criminal enterprise that they are, decided at the Square of the Revolution, their launch campaign party, they decided that the song they will use to usher in this glorious period where the chances are that they might win the elections, rise to the top, convince Guyanese, seduce the good people of Guyana to vote for them. They did not choose Dave Martin's song, none of his songs. They did not choose songs that Guyanese artists wrote. They choose none of that. The song these idiots decided to choose to play is a song from this Jamaican criminal convict who was in prison for all kinds of stuff, including murder. This gangster thug, or this so-called gangster, Vibes Cartel. Because his mouth spew out some words on God, they choose a song that he allegedly wrote and performed to use on a platform to launch an election campaign in Guyana. You see what I'm seeing? And this is the party the black people want to support. And the same party that claims that they have the blacks' best interest. And hear what Norton says. Only 4 regions can feed themselves, sustenance. He's going to make sure that all 10 regions has what it takes to provide food for themselves. Really? 10 regions. "28 years Burnham was president. 28 years. How many regions under the PNC had food sustenance? 28 years. How many? We had Hoyt, then we had Granger. 5 years. How many regions during the 5 years? Oh, then Norton will say, but I wasn't president. That was Granger. I'm going to be president, and it's my idea. So while you weren't president, while you were not president, you withheld your ideas. Because if you give it to Granger, who was chairman of a party that you were a part of, your government, you withheld information because you don't want him to look good. You rather he fail. So when you get a chance, you can implement all the ideas you have. So you get the credit. But you will not support your own government because it will not make you look good. Typical Negro. They laugh with you. They smile with you. They see that you're making mistakes. Okay, let him lose. Let him go down. He thinks he's all that. Let him get caught. He thinks he's all that. They see that you are going towards danger. But because of their jealousy, they let you go. Then they come after as hypocrites. Man, I wanted to tell you, I don't understand, but I think if I tell you, you might be upset. He's the one saying it. So the same man, the same loser, the same alcoholic, always looked that he overdosed on opium, drunk as hell. Alcohol can never make you look that sick. There got to be drugs. He got to be high on something. Same man did not launch his campaign with pro-Guyana products. He launched his campaign with a Jamaican thug, gangster, lowlife, music, and you're hoping to win Guyanese with that. Disgraceful. Shame on you, Norton. Shame on you. You hate your own people. We know the best singers in Guyana are black people. We know that. Great. That's why the smart man, you see when they opened the Diamond Regional Hospital? Look, you can't. I am happy that I'm doing this for free because it's sweet. I'm glad that I'm doing this for free. It's enjoyable. It's beautiful. I can enjoy it. So when I'm saying now to you, look at the comparison. The Diamond Regional Hospital, not Diamond, Enmore Regional Hospital in a pro-Indian neighborhood that was opened a few days ago. One of the main songs at the ceremony, was performed. Grab this, you idiot, Aubrey Norton. Listen carefully to me. Listen to the genius. Me, I. Fuck all them losers that are on your cam that are doing whatever shitty text. Fuck them. Listen to me, you idiot Norton. Say what you want about President Ali. He is way above your pay grade. You think that $1 million of taxpayers' money gave you the right to think you can make comparisons? There is no comparison. You are a boy. Here is why you are a boy. And them niggas who support you. A regional hospital, another one that was opened under the Ali government in a pro-Indian area where the crowd largely were Indo Guyanese. One of the main or the main performance was a song sang by a black Guyanese, a Afro Guyanese. Sang it. No big drum set, just the background music and the man performing the vocals. I looked at that and I thought, how the hell President Ali could ever lose an election? I mean, look at the genius of this move. And he always does it. I haven't followed the rest, the former or the past ceremonies. I think I have to pay more attention now because the man always blows me away. So much surprises. When I saw this, I'm watching it, and when he finished his deliberations, and this gentleman, they announced the El Dorado song, and then it's in the background, I'm thinking to myself, this is cheap, man. You couldn't get a nice set or something. The background music is terrible. I mean, it's like, and then this Negro, this Afro-Guyanese fella, opened his mouth and started to sing. When he started to sing, I had to put my phone down. I'm like, you mean you got this kind of talent in Guyana? This is a Guyanese guy singing like that. I made a decision after that. Before the song was finished, I made a decision to never open my mouth on live streaming to try to sing again. I'm done. After I hear what that guy did, I'm like, and I sometimes have the balls to say I'm singing. We ain't giving up. I'm like, I'm done with that shit. Never again. Never again. Let me stick to what I do best. Talk. No more singing for me. That was genius. That guy with no acoustics, no studio, just a mic, open air, perform that rendition perfectly. I say, bravo, Ali. You did it again, brother. You did it a fucking again. Bravo, Ali. Bravo. El Dorado. Man, it was beautiful. I took my remote and I gave it back from the beginning 3 times. I'm like, man, this time I said it in a good sense. I said, man, these niggas can sing, man. In a good sense, in a good sense. But that's the difference with Irfan Ali and fucking Norton. Norton doesn't have that kind of genius to think of these things. At the launch of a hospital, that was a brilliant move by Irfan Ali. When you have such people, the way that thing was put together, and then when all the persons were built up, you know, you're waiting for that injection. You're like, oh, doctor, is it going to hurt? Is it going to hurt? No, just calm down, calm down. Then Ali brings in that music, that singer, and the guy sang El Dorado. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm voting for President Ali again. I'm fucking voting for him again. I'm going to vote for Ali again. That's all you can think about. He had you there. That is hypnosis. No candles, no priests, no drums, no obia. When Ali captivates you with his fiery, pastor-like, performance on the stage, he brings in the singer. I got you. Genius. And that's the man. Irfan Ali is the man. Those fools like Simona Brooms, Nazir, Amanza Nazir, Mohamed, Azzrudin Mohamed, and the biggest idiot of all, Aubrey Norton, they think they can beat Ali. And the man has strategies that can blow you off. So I'm like, he go get a Vibes Cartel to sing at a campaign rally for Guyanese. And Ali could find so many Guyanese that are brilliant. And look, that guy who sang the El Dorado song, Vibes Cartel, is a baby in terms of talent compared to that guy. A baby in terms of talent compared to that guy. I think I'm a good critic when it comes to music. A simple Guyanese who performed for the president on the opening of the Enmore Hotel. Hospital. Without all of that fancy acoustics and drums and all this kind of thing. And did a spectacular Whitney Houston kind of music. And you're going to bring Vibes Cartel. That fella, his music, and because he mentioned God in it, some redemption story, you want to feel you're proud because you don't believe in your own people's talent. You feel special because you have some foreigner perform for you. That's why you're always stuck on FBI. You're stuck on bringing some foreigner to Guyana to deal with any investigation, anything, some foreigner, because you have no hope, no belief, no trust in the potential of the Guyanese within Guyana. And you want to be president. You fool. Anyway, I want to leave some more for the next day because I have a lot to talk about. But today I want to deal with that. And I want to let you understand that all the Afro-Guyanese, if you know what's good for yourself, and I think you do, if you know what is good for yourself, you would take the opportunity you have now, and tonight, before you go to bed, you denounce the PNC, denounce Aubrey Norton, denounce Azzrudin Mohamed, beg your creator for forgiveness, cleanse yourself, and tomorrow when you get up out of your bed, brand new, to face a brand new sunrise, you make an oath to the universe and join the PPP for your good, for your benefit, for your future, for your family's future, for your well-being, because your best has arrived. Your best is President Ali and the PPP. And the next 5 years, you and your best will make Guyana great again. This is Professor Love, Dr. Love, Prasad saying, what time is it? Yeah. Have a good evening. And I'll tell you tomorrow about, because my time is up, the Guyanese who approached me. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Until then, goodbye now.